Day 27. Social media boundaries. Everyone was raving about Jesus. So impressed were they by the gracious words flowing from his lips. They said, "This is Joseph's son, isn't it?" Then Jesus said to them, "Undoubtedly you will quote this saying to me, 'Doctor, heal yourself. Do here in your hometown what we've heard you did in Capernaum.'" And he said, "I assure you that no prophet is welcome in the prophet's hometown." And when they heard this, everyone in the synagogue was filled with anger. And they rose up and they ran him out of town, and they led him to the crest of the hill on which their town had been built so they could throw him off the cliff. But he passed through the crowd and went on his way. And that's the story from the fourth chapter of Luke. The crowd is fickle. In Luke's gospel, after 40 days of fasting in the wilderness, Jesus returns to the hometown of Nazareth, and on the Sabbath, he goes to the synagogue as usual and begins to teach. Initially, the crowd was impressed with the wisdom coming from Joseph's son, but when Jesus became more critical of the religious establishment, they turned on him and were ready to kill him. Luke does not tell us how Jesus got away. He didn't run or fight his way out. Somehow he passed through the crowd. He walked a few towns over to Capernaum and continued teaching. He chose a different crowd. And we would do well to use the same practices, especially if when it comes to today's technology. While there are many benefits that come with being connected through the internet and technology, social media and smartphones are innate boundary destroyers, blurring the lines between our professional and personal worlds and encouraging us to be plugged in and available to all people at all times. So continue to breathe as you create as much space in that breathing cavity as possible. Feet are connected to the ground, shoulders are over hips, crown of the head is reaching high. And the air goes up the nose, and the air can go out the mouth or the nose. How many people do you know that sleep with their smartphones? And it's okay if you're one of those people, you don't have to admit anything today. How many people do you know that can't eat a meal without checking and seeing what's coming in? People that wear a watch that beeps, and alerts them, and you're in the middle of a conversation and you see them doing this. Have you ever seen a pastor or a deacon leading worship and do that? How do we unplug? How do we take care of ourselves? How do we make that break and hold the boundary of creating space to be with God, creating space to be with one another, creating space to be in this beautiful world that God has created, creating space for us to be right there with the neighbor when they're in pain, when they're suffering, right there so we can walk and hold hands and hold each other. How do we put down the phone? Take some more deep breaths by moving the arms and take them up overhead, reaching high. And then exhaling and bringing the arms down by your side or in your lap. And breathing arms up and exhaling down. One more deep breath in. And one more exhalation. And then take a hand to the side of your chair and reach up and over and stretch the side of your body so you create space for breathing, for laughing, for singing, for allowing all the inside parts of you to have the right space to do the work those organs, those pieces and parts of you are designed to do. And then reach up and over and stretch out on the other side. Well, one small step you've made today is maybe to put whatever communication device, put it aside and just focus. I have been in yoga classes where people couldn't put down their phones. And reach up nice and tall. Take your hands to your shoulders and twist your upper body to one side. Take an elbow towards the device, take an elbow away. Just a gentle twist because we're still warming up. And then twist in the opposite direction. And then as you come back, if you would like to challenge your brain this early in the morning, and if not, it's certainly okay. But breathe in and lift the opposite knee as you twist into that side of the body. And so then I'm lifting the opposite knee and twisting the other way. So breath in as you come forward towards your device and exhale as you reach into the twist. And just take your time and explore. Your foot doesn't have to come far off of the floor for this to work. Breathing in and out, and inhale and exhale. And once you feel kind of balanced, reach those arms up high again to the sky, and then we will bow forward. And it can be where you rest your elbows on your knees, forearms on your thigh muscles, or you reach down to the floor. Wherever you are, shake your head yes and shake your head no. And let go of any tightness or tension that may be hanging out in the neck or shoulders area of the body. Take one hand and reach it low, or just prop up on that elbow as you reach another hand to the sky. Another twist for the body. And then the hand that's high comes down low. And then twist away from your device, or whichever way is working for you. You're just going in the opposite direction. Come back down low to the fold. Set the feet where they really ground, like meet the floor, and then strengthen muscles in the lower body and the legs and in the middle of you. And then breathe in as you reach out in front of you, and then lift up high, and then catch a small little back bend here, just making a small little arch in the back, if that's okay with your body. If your body ever says, don't like it, then listen, you don't have to do what the little lady says to do. And then come on back down, palms together and thumbs to your heart. Breathing in and breathing out. We talked a few weeks ago about leaky boundaries. I thought that was a great term. When you're not healthy and strong, it's hard to hold the boundaries, and it's easy to make decisions or choices that are not really good ones to make, right? So, yeah, we want strong boundaries, not leaky ones. And before we post it or send the email or share the communication of any kind, we want to remember if it's helpful, if it's true, is it necessary, is it kind? There's a great acronym called THINK that can help you make those choices and decisions. But you got to be in your upstairs brain for you to be able to use that acronym versus your and just fire off that thing that then later you have to clean up after, right? All right, let's work our chair pose. So you can hang out in your chair. You can push your seat over your seat. You can reach your hands way out and create that thunderbolt shape with your body, or you can have your fists to your hips or your hands to your heart, whatever feels good to you. And just take some deep breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Femur bones, leg bones are side by side here best you can. Feet are really plugged into the floor. Even if you have your seat connecting to the seat, you're still working all of the above. Middle is up and in. And then you push through the floor and come up to standing. and come beside your chair. Now, when we did our last class together, I think we used this today's song about Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. It's a dynamic tree. We were using this when also with the lectionary recently when we were talking about the thief on the cross who asked God to remember him, asked Jesus, even though Jesus died on the cross, he says, when you go into the kingdom, please don't forget about me, right? So what you're going to do is start with your hand down by your side, your feet are plugged into the floor. The leg that's closest to your chair is going to be your balancing leg, and this hand can hang on. As you breathe in, you're going to reach out the foot, and I'm just coming up higher so you can see what it's doing. It's just coming up. It doesn't have to come up very high. And then you're going to open it up with the hand towards your device with the toe towards the ceiling. And then you're going to close this by using the tree pose with a hand on the heart and a foot on the leg. And then you unwrap it, right? You go back with the hand out, open, and the toe out, and then you turn everything forward and then bring it down. Okay? Then we'll do that 3 times on this leg. Again, you can use both hands if you want to, but you're balancing on this leg. And so I'll show it to you with both hands the first time, but then I'll probably go back. Hang on. All right, here we go. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. One more time. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Take a moment to feel what it feels like in your balancing leg and the moving leg. Just taking notes, got your invisible clipboard out there, making those observations that are real. And then come to the other side of your chair as we work that on our opposite sides. So I loved Christ the King Sunday this year. I'm not really thinking that I'm meant to be in a pulpit, but I really do appreciate the opportunity to study and to the Word and to find ways to share it with others. And that has been a blessing for me. And Christ the King Sunday or the Reign of Christ Sunday was a beautiful Sunday for me with that idea of remember. Taking it apart and putting the hyphen in between the re and the member, like we putting back together as God's people when we all come under the reign of Christ or the rule of Christ. And so here we are putting ourselves back together with the breath and the body and the head and the heart and everything coming together and establishing those strong boundaries when it comes to picking up a phone and using technology. All right, here we go. Nice and tall again. Feel that opposite foot connecting with the 4 corners of the foot into the floor. And breathe in as you open up. Remember, it doesn't have to be high. And then exhaling as you come here. And then you can just plug your toe in by your ankle, or you have your heel of the moving foot on top of the balancing foot. It doesn't have to come up. It's wherever it feels good to you. And then you come out and toes towards your device, but again, not very high, and feet side by side. 3 times on this side. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Last time, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. What does it feel like on one side of the body compared to the other? No judgment, no evaluation, just noticing and observing. I had the pleasure of eating lunch with some folks that I work with in Clinton, South Carolina yesterday, and the lady said she had found a new acronym, and I'm always about acronyms. I love how they help you remember things. TIN, 10, the 10 approach is this I noticed. This I noticed. What did you notice? Where was the 10 in that experience? All right, come to the back of your chair. We're going to take one foot forward and one leg back. And this is going to be our warrior one. So when we stretch that leg back, we're stretching muscles where the leg joins the body at the hip joint. We're strengthening muscles in the forward leg as we keep a knee over ankle. Your hands can be on the chair for support, or they can be on the hips. Your belly button is facing forward with this move. Your hands can be high or they can be out like a V for victory or some goalpost arms. All right. And we're going to think about, I was telling Ann before we got started, I was doing David and the Goliath story with some little folks. And I love that part about how David says it's God's battle and God's going to win his battles, right? So be bold and be brave. 'Cause the Lord thy God is with thee. You be bold and be brave. 'Cause the Lord thy God is with thee. Be not afraid. And you can take your hands and you go, sha na 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 na, right? And you can take your feet together and you can sha na 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 here too. Sha na 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 na, be not dismayed. Sha na 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 na, nobody's looking, you're good. Walk in faith and victory, for the Lord thy God is with thee. All right, you take the opposite leg. The leg that was back becomes the knee over the ankle leg. You take the leg that was forward and now it becomes your stretchy leg. Hands can be wherever they need to be. It's okay to be hanging on if you work it here. Be bold and be brave, for the Lord thy God is with thee. Be bold and be brave, because the Lord thy God is with thee. Be not afraid, sha-na-na-na-na-na. Be not dismayed, sha-na-na-na-na-na. Walk in faith and victory, for the Lord thy God is with thee. All right, thank you, thank you. Come on back to your chair or the floor, however you want to do a little stretching today, and I'll model it both ways. If you come to the chair, we're going to work a hip stretch that you can use like you can have your ankle, a foot ankle over ankle. I'm just holding it up so you can see. And then you could come up the shin, or if your body lets you take your ankle like to your knee. We're stretching out the hip here and you can lean forward into it. If you'd like to be on the floor at this point, you're welcome to do this laying on your back, or you can do it seated on the floor. And the idea is very similar. The ankle comes over the knee. You can stretch your hips towards it instead of leaning over. Or if you're on your back, you can pull the leg towards the body. And any of those ways of working it will get her done. And breathe in and breathe out. When you go to share or post it or put it out there, you always want to make sure it's something you're okay if it's out there forever and all times, because it sure enough is, right? All right. Wherever you are, you can let go of the cross and just let the legs fall one side to the other, either seated in the chair. It's called the windshield wiper move, and you can do it on your back. You can do it sitting tall with this move as well. All right. You can let those knees go one side and the other. Yeah. And then you'll recross it the other way. And when it's out there, it's like that story of the pillow with the feathers, like you break the pillow, bust the pillow up, and you ain't gonna get those feathers back in that pillow. Or if you've ever seen the illustration with the toothpaste tube and you squirt the toothpaste out, you ain't gonna get that toothpaste back in the toothpaste tube, right? It's out there. And so our good health practices, our time, our spiritual practices, our strengthening opportunities with our head, heart, and soul, boy, that just really helps us to make those decisions about what to put out there. And maybe, just maybe, not everybody needs to know everything. So find the way that you would like to rest today. We've already twisted earlier in our practice. So you're welcome to sit comfortably in your chair or to lay and put your feet up in the chair or however it feels good to you. Social media platforms encourage us to reach beyond our immediate networks to form relationships with many different crowds, including people who have not established their trustworthiness. The high school classmates we weren't even friends with back in the day, the popular influencers whom we don't like, the church members who are MAGA loving or not, the strangers who sent a friend request because their algorithm told them to. So in this digitally connected age, we have the capacity and the right to choose our own crowd. And the author says, I am a firm believer in compartmentalizing social media and technology use. I keep separate professional and personal email accounts, and I refrain from checking work emails on days off, like Thanksgiving vacations. The author says she sometimes even deletes the app. She disables smartphone notifications and avoids giving out personal cell number. And she uses a Google Voice number, which also lets her mute notifications on her off times. No one is entitled to our time, space, and energy, no matter how many ways Silicon Valley invents for people to access us. We get to choose our own crowd. We get to go to Capernaum instead of staying in Nazareth. Take a deep breath in and let the air out your body. Invite small movements and wiggles, stretches to your joints, to your fingers, to your toes. Roll your ankles, roll your wrists, rock your head. Wherever you are, take those hands together or right over the heart. The light of Christ that lives in me honors and appreciates and fans the flames of the light of Christ that lives in you. And all God's children say, Amen and Namaste.
Amen. Namaste.